Good evening, everyone, and welcome to our next Excellence Above webinar. I think the month is September. Is it September now, Martha?
September, that is correct, yes.
Excellent, excellent. And we're very excited tonight. As you can tell, this is another powerhouse duo. Tonight, it's myself and the awesome Martha Arifin on high-powered online marketing and, of course, going to Facebook as well. And it's great to have you here, Martha. How do you feel tonight?
Very excited, everyone, to be here.
Martha is excited. So there you go. I'm happy and it's great to have you all here. Now, as you guys know, we know there's a few people on the line we don't know, but we know quite a few of you. And as you know, this is me at the top left. You've seen Martha in your opening slide. I'm your crazy Persian marketing mentor. And tonight's a very special one. I mean, I know a lot of you guys on the line, a few people I don't know, a few naughty people are still coming in. This is all being recorded for YouTube. And really tonight what we're about is giving you some high quality and very compelling content to really help you as small business owners and entrepreneurs really master your marketing. Now, it's always a pleasure to have you here, and what it is that before I hand over to Martha, and she's going to wow us with nothing but amazing powerhouse content, this is really what tonight's about, and what I'd really like to ask of you to really keep your mind open to. First things first, what do you want to achieve online? And this is a big issue we find all the time, and I've found all the time, working with hundreds of people across town. A lot of people say, I want a website, I want a Facebook page, and then the question is, why do you want it? And they just stare at you saying, because everyone else has one. That is not a reason. What's your take on that issue, Martha?
Yeah, I get asked a lot. I said, okay, someone comes to me and say, Martha, can you just build us a Facebook page or a website? And the first question I ask them is always, why do you think you need one? Because everyone else has it. You know, it's not a good enough answer for me, because you need to have a proper goal, a proper purpose on anything that you do in terms of business investment, and that's probably the first question that I would ask them.
Wow, very compelling. And that's the thing, and that's one of the reasons why I love Martha, which is what we're going to go into. Martha and I make a very good, and we were telling this joke the other day, between Martha, there is no chemistry whatsoever. However, we often walk into places and people mistake us for husband and wife, don't they, Martha? And what's the reason is because we complement each other's strengths and weaknesses very well. I'm the marketing guy, the high energy guy, and Martha's the quiet, cautious, detail-oriented character. Fair comment, Martha?
Very fair.
Exactly. And to me, this is really what you keep your mind open to tonight. How is your current website going, assuming if you got one? With your website, what kind of tweaks do you need? You might be sick of your website and you want Martha to come and burn it down and help you start again, which is great. She can certainly help you out there. Or it might be some tweaks. You might pick up some free tweaks and do it that way. In fact, Martha, do you ever see someone's website and you just suggest burn it down and start it again? Do you ever do that?
Yeah, actually, on some occasions, it will probably be better if we start from scratch, because trying to fix something that has not been working, it's might take longer, and at the end, it will then obviously allow them to, you know, rather than currently working with the current site, it might just better off working with the new one, get a proper plan in place and build it that way.
Exactly. So nothing wrong with burning down the house and building a new concrete slab again. And of course, Facebook. Isn't Facebook a hot topic or what? Right, Martha?
Yes, yes. Facebook is probably one of the major platforms, like one of the major players when it comes to social media.
And Facebook is sizzling hot. And of course, what to do next. These are the things we want you to keep in mind. Now, just a few stereotype things I want to go through is we're going to give you heaps and heaps of content. Don't panic if you miss something, because we'll record it and stick it on YouTube. It's about giving you as much value as possible. And here's the thing. Like all our clients, we like to get a big truck, fill it full of stuff, and drive over our clients with them and overwhelm the poor guys. So again, please don't panic. We are going to hit you with lots of knowledge. Don't get overwhelmed. Don't worry about it. We're going to be around for questions. You've got a great chat box. Feel free to type us questions. Here's a big thing. We need questions from you, because Martha and I are just sitting here in my house eating chocolate, talking to a machine. Is that right, Martha?
Yeah, a big bowl of chocolates.
Yeah. And it's a little bit awkward because Martha and I are just talking to a strange computer, and we need you to talk back to us. And boy, do we have one great crowd tonight. So talk back to us, ask us questions, and look, at the end we'll stop the recording and we'll be around to answer questions. So get them through and help us out. And here's a big thing. What Martha and I are doing in this one, I've crossed 10,000 plus consulting hours. Martha, you must have done at least that in your cycle. You've done a shitload of consulting work.
Yeah, a lot.
Yep. And we're going to teach you everything we know within half an hour. Is that right?
Wow, yeah.
No, but we're going to try to. So we're definitely going to work hard for that. And big thing before we get into the content, if you're like me, if you're a high achiever and you've made heaps of mistakes, don't worry about a thing. All your mistakes have got you to this point in time where you can create something new and start fresh. So forgive yourself and keep an open heart and mind. And here's a big marketing thing we say to everyone we know. Marketing is not just about sending out ads. It's about making your business more awesome, helping people find it, and selling more stuff. What's your take on that, Martha?
Yeah, totally agree. Totally agree. At the end of the day, we're running business, so it's got to be making money, selling more stuff, and deliver to your audience.
Amazing, amazing. Now, without further ado, a lot of you people on the line do know Martha. And I love this photo of Martha. I was stalking her Facebook page, and Martha's married, got a lovely husband, and of course that very cute little Asian girl's obviously her daughter in the backseat of a BMW. Is that right?
That is correct.
It was a very cute photo. And look, where Martha and I sort of connected, Martha and I met each other probably, it's about a good year or two, was it ago, Martha?
A year ago.
Yep. Mm-hmm. And the thing was, Martha and I instantly started working together. Martha originally hired me as a marketing mentor. Mm-hmm. Did I deliver or did I do a crappy job, Martha?
Oh, you've been great at.
Oh, shucks, I'm blushing now.
Yes, yes.
I've now got a birthmark on both sides, thanks to Martha. And look, I'll tell you where Martha's really taken off. Martha has been amazing at 4 Networking as a leader. She's been amazing there. And the big thing I really love about Martha is that when it comes to small business websites, Martha is outstanding. She understands small business. She understands the budgets they have. She understands the pressure. And she also really understands Facebook inside out from a small business perspective. And the thing you find about me, I'm considered the loudmouth of the room. Martha is generally the quiet achiever in the room, aren't you, Martha?
Yeah, I'm quiet.
Yeah, she's very quiet. Yeah. So Martha will sit there and say nothing and sell like 4 3-grand websites in 20 minutes. So she's that sort of character. So what we're going to do, without further ado, I really want to introduce Martha now. And here's the thing I just want to close on before Martha takes over. Okay, I've been in the marketing profession since, I'm 35 now, since really the age of 21, and I was a full-time marketing manager when I was 24. Online marketing has rapidly changed the world, and even my own business. As a lot of you know, I'm going into online products myself. Online marketing and Facebook and websites have totally changed the world. In the last 10 years, we've had a complete revolution. In fact, a few of us this morning, a few of us online, were actually at a presentation from Microsoft this morning. And we're actually talking about, the internet didn't even exist about 10, 12 years ago.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And now we spend our lives on Facebook, don't we, Martha?
Yeah. It's as if, Facebook is part of our lives that we can't live without, like at least not for me. And considering it wasn't even there 10 years ago, it has changed dramatically the way we do things.
Precisely. And now bringing it back to small business, and why we're telling you this is that websites and Facebook and even LinkedIn and all these other channels, they give us untold imaginable possibilities to market and grow our business 24 hours a day. And that's really what we're going to talk about today. So Martha's going to go through the basics. So everyone, let's give Martha Arifin a hand, everyone. Yay, yeah. Hello. All right, all yours, Martha. Take it over.
Thank you, Edward. Hello, this is Martha. And tonight we are going to show you some of what makes your website a success. There are a couple of things I got asked often. Why can I just, get a website done? Nothing against Indians or Bangladesh, sorry, but anyone can build a website nowadays. A 12-year-old can build the websites. You don't need to have a coding experience. Like you don't need to know how to code HTML if you know what it is to code a website. You can easily build it. There are platforms out there that allows you to build websites very easily. But that's not what we're here for. We need to build a website so that it does not only look good, but it also functions. And towards the end of the day, like Edward mentioned before, that actually delivers. So what makes your website a success? There are 3 things that make your website a success. From my point of view, other people would have different takes on this. My 3 takes on this is, number 1, we've got designed usability, you design usability and return of investment. Now the design bit, let me just cover that a little bit. When it comes to, now I came from a graphic design background, so I was trained as a graphic designer, moved into web design, and now I'm developing, I do a little bit of online marketing here and then social media. So I've got a good grasp, understanding of what makes a good design when it comes to online. Consistency is one of them. Consistency of colors, consistency of positioning of elements, the font choices, the font sizes, the proportion of the elements, it all, they all deliver your brand, as in how you deliver the message of your brand. Like, let's have a look at Virgin, for example. Virgin is one of the biggest brands out there. They have spent millions of dollars trying to get the branding right across all their products. And we're talking about Virgin Airlines, Virgin Music, Virgin Gym, and all the products all across the range. They have delivered an amazing brand experience. No matter where you look, it's Virgin. And you don't have to look into the entire thing. You've got to look at the airplane, you've got to look at the logo, the business cards, the credit cards, Facebook page, their websites, all delivered consistently. And that is what I'm talking here, is the consistency. So if you look at when we're talking online, let's have a look at the website. Have a look at how your Facebook page looks like, your Twitter, if you have a Twitter account, your YouTube channel, if you're working anything online, very close to video marketing and things like that. Email marketing, how is your email template looking? Are they consistent? We're not even mentioning all the offline marketing materials like your business cards, if you have flyers, brochures, pull-up banners, CDs, DVDs, whatever it is. Make sure they're consistent. Even though, we're not big brands, like we don't spend millions of building the brands, but it is your brand. It is how you want people to perceive and see you. So if it is not delivering the right message, it's something that you should be looking at the first thing. Yeah. So that is number one. What do you think, Ed?
Absolutely, and just sort of reinforcing, and it's funny, I actually didn't see this presentation till today, right, which has been really good. And when I was doing my postgraduate marketing at Monash University in Melbourne, Virgin was one of the big case studies, because if you go back a bit in history, Virgin was one of the few companies that started out that got their image right across all media. So be it a website, a flight attendant, a person at the time when they had Virgin stores selling Virgin mobile phones, or Richard Branson on TV, they have a consistent brand experience. I don't know what you're thinking. Oh, well, that's Virgin, that's Richard. Richard's got more money than me, and shut the hell up, Edward. Great, okay, cool. From a small business point of view, it doesn't cost much money to be consistent. So let's say, very simple terms, let's say Daniel Doherty's online, great guy. His team colour is blue. So it would imply that his branding should be blue, be it his website or his uniform should be blue, right? Joel De La Cruz is on the line. His image is, Daniel says cyan. Okay, you win, cyan. I'm colourblind, there you go. Joel on the line, however, his colour scheme is more the red crimson hues, okay? So he gets that look consistent. So what I do say to you, and it doesn't cost money to do it, as small business owners, and even though don't want to steal Martha's thunder, but you want to have the same consistent look and feel. So obviously if you go to a networking event, grab a business card, if someone goes home and they do this and type in your website, right, they get that same consistent brand experience when they go back and check out your website offline. So please, I think the good takeaway is that everything, be it a Facebook page or your business card, same look and feel. Sounds great, Martha?
Yep. Spot on.
Very good. Back to you, Martha.
Okay. Now, the second thing is the usability. Now, that is a big word. Now, what is the usability? Usability is basically the ease of use. Now, we're talking about online delivery. So anything online that you deliver, Facebook, any of your social media platforms, and websites, obviously. The ease of use, how easy it is for visitors or your viewers to look at your website and then navigate around. One of the things that people don't realize is people do not read on screen, they scan and they skim. And a study is done by a usability guru, Jacob Nielsen, if you've probably heard of his name, just search it online, very huge in the usability world and accessibility, is he's done a research, and this is what you're looking at here on the right-hand side, that resembles the letter F, and that's how it's an eye tracking movement. So they put eye tracking camera on like attached to the head, and it actually track the eyes as they go along and with the website, and this is how it is. So people actually, the red areas are where people fix their attention the most, and it will then go to the lesser one, which is the green colors, and then the blue colors, and the gray ones don't get any fixation at all. So as you can see, people actually skim through. They stop, so they do like the first line of the letter F at the top there, going across horizontally. Then they go skimming down a little bit, they pause a little bit, wait for a little bit, and they go down, and then do the second letter, the shorter horizontal line of the letter F, and then they go skim down. So as you can probably see, they do not read, they skim and they scan, and that's how people are looking at your website when it comes to usability. The conclusion is the first 2 paragraphs must state the most important information. So if you have information that you want to put out there on the website, make sure that they are actually displayed on the first paragraphs, because people actually read that and use headings to break long articles. So if your long articles, use bullet points, use headings, because people are drawn to it, and that's what forms the letter F. So that when it comes to usability, yeah.
And just jumping on Martha's bandwagon there, which I couldn't agree with more, the same goes for all your marketing. So you've really got to think, when you're, let's say, laying out content on a website or even a flyer, you want to think, do you have the right words and right images in the right position? So it's always really good to think about where are people likely to look, and a very obvious one is on a website, is what heading do you have? So when someone opens your website, what's the first thing that they see? And the big question is, why should they stay on the site? If someone opens your website, you've got, what, how long? What, 7 seconds to convince them to stay? Is that right, Martha?
Less than 7 seconds, that is correct.
Yeah, so amazing. So big question, why should they remain on your website? And to me, that's something very prominent and what we'd really suggest you talk about. Now, I was just going to say as well, you're a beautiful audience, we've got a great attendance, but you're all too quiet. Ask us questions, abuse us, yell at us. Say that Martha has a big nose. No, she doesn't. Martha has a small nose. But anyway, just feel free to insult us. Give us something. We love being insulted, so there you go. But, very good. Make sure you get your wording as compelling as possible.
Spot on. Spot on. Okay, so still in the topic of usability is the topic of mobile-friendly website. Now, this is a huge topic on its own, and we can probably run like the entire webinar on itself. Is when it comes to a mobile-friendly websites, we're talking about a couple of different things here. Number one is navigation. How many times have you been in a website, you're trying to click on something on your mobile device, and Ed just was talking about how like the sales of tablets and mobile devices surpasses the sales of desktops and Apple PCs. Now, putting platforms aside, a lot of people actually accessing your website and your online content through a mobile device, be it tablets, be it smartphones. So if your website is not mobile friendly, you're probably leaving a lot of audience on the table. That's not really very good. You've been to a website, you try to click on one link, you actually click on another one next to it because all the texts are all jumbled up together. They're all too close. All the texts are very, very close to each other when it comes to navigation. What you're looking at there on the screen is one of our clients, ABC Reed Kylie. We've developed a website so that when you look at it from on a mobile on the right-hand side, the menus becomes drop-downs, as you probably are aware, like, for example, on smartphones. So because the size of your thumb and your fingers is actually much bigger than the actual mouse pointer. So that's one thing that you have to make sure your website, your online presence, navigation-wise, it is easy for people to look at things, to click through, and to navigate. Right? And the 2 clicks rule apply. So if you're trying to find your phone number, if they click more than twice, this is for information-based website, will they find it within 2 clicks?
Yeah, and amazing. It's a very good point. And to me, what I recommend to you all is that if you've got a website already, go to your mobile phone and visit it, and pick up your iPad or your Samsung tablet and visit it and see what happens. And the interesting thing was at the Microsoft workshop this morning, what was very, very, very potent from all this is that last quarter there were more tablets sold than there were desktop PCs. So easily in a year or two, there could be at least 60% of people coming to your website from a tablet, right? So you've got to remember the majority of your browsing will be from a tablet, okay? So make sure you get it right and make sure what we call is mobile optimization. So you want to make sure it's really good. As I want to say as well, thank you for all your questions coming in. Come in some more. Thank you for all your compliments. And Sebastian asked a great question of how I can get more likes in Facebook. Are you going to go through that later on?
We're going to touch on that later.
We will come back to you on that one, Sebastian. But good question. So get more of your questions through, everyone. We love questions.
Okay, still on the topic of usability is accessibility. Now, people are thinking accessibility is for people with, for example, people with specific needs, but it's not just it. Accessibility means that your online presence must be easily accessible through different devices. We've talked about tablets, we talked about smartphones. How about cross browsers? Now, when we're talking about cross browsers, it is a lot of different browsers on the different platforms. Apple, PC, you've got Internet Explorer, which is kind of dying now. Firefox, we've got Chrome, you've got Opera. If you don't know what I'm talking about, these are the browsers that you use to look for your websites, right? So they have to go nicely across many different browsers. And we come to colors, it's the same thing, right? Is the color accessible for people who use different type of devices?
Yeah. So just to interrupt, Martha. So, Martha, you're saying that be it I'm using Google Chrome or Internet Explorer or Apple Safari, the website might look different on different browsers if it's not tested properly.
That is correct. It might just break on some browsers not tested properly. Colors-wise, the same thing. If you have, let's say, white text against like background, would it come up if someone switched it, switch the text colors around, because people might just print it out and it might not just come up. So it's the issue of accessibility, which is part of the usability.
Yeah. So in other words, you're saying, Martha, it's very good to test your websites thoroughly on all platforms, and if not, you can speak to your web designer and tell them to fix it.
Yeah.
Or you can hire Martha.
Yeah, and these are two of the tools that I'm using, toolspingdom.com, and just to check go to that website after the webinar and just try to put in your own URL, your own website URL, and see when it comes to the website loading speed, how fast your website loads, which is also another thing that you should be considering when building website accessibility-wise.
Wow, very good advice. Beautiful stuff. Get your questions through, everyone. All right.
Okay. The last point when it comes to creating a website that works is the return on investment. Now, that is a marketing term, so we're not going to talk marketing here. It's not my forte. But when it comes to website, it still has to convert, right? So we're talking about sales and marketing strategies, which is what Edward is an expert on. We're talking about online, website, Facebook, whatever it is. We can talk about landing page. Now, landing page is basically a single page that you bring your visitors in. You can bring your visitors in through by sending them the link to that landing page. When it comes to sales and marketing strategies, you've got to think about how, now you're looking at the funnel there on the screen, how you can first attract your viewers, your potential viewers, which is your leads. That's your lead generation. If you're aware of the marketing term, that's your lead generation. How do you attract them? Okay, so you could do Facebook ads, for example. You can do SEO, right? And then after you attract them, the second level is how do you then interact with these leads? Again, it might be social media. It might be email marketing. Just open the communication there.
Exactly. And I think it's good to really think about. So let's say you create the best website possible. How are you going to get traffic there? And are people going to give you a lead or not? So it's always good to really ask yourself these potent questions.
That is correct.
A good one there.
Right. So this is another question that I got asked all the time. We have Facebook, Martha, we have Facebook, we have LinkedIn, we have Pinterest, we have YouTube, and some of the things I've never even heard of. Especially youngsters nowadays, they're on Snapchat, they're on this and that. Now, the key is I always answer it this way, right? If you're overwhelmed, it is common because these platforms, they change every single day, if not several times in a day, and they don't even tell you. Sometimes they do. They don't even tell you why they just changed it. So one day you log into Facebook and say, what's that? You just try it out and see what happens, right? When I got asked, okay, how do you then use all these different strategies, SEO, search engine optimization, how do you get your site be found? And Google, social media, how to use Facebook, how to use Pinterest, how to use YouTube, how to use so and so. Email marketing, you know what it is, email newsletters, you do email marketing, you can do PR. You can do events, you can do any print-outs, you can do flyers, drop out, you can use cold callings, direct mail, referrals, whatever it is that you're doing. It is to drive traffic back to your website. So think about Facebook as just a lead generation tool, which is on the top of the funnel. So, which one and how to monetize? Again, my answer is pick one, stick to one, and master it. For most of us, Facebook is probably going to be the answer, being one of the major players. So stick to one and then master it. Don't go and try to run the second one, Pinterest or whatever it is, before you master the first one. All right? My suggestion, my advice always, let's say you start with Facebook. Stick to Facebook, make sure it's running properly, make sure you know that you already have the system in place that you can then delegate to someone else to do it for you. You can hire a virtual assistant, you can hire a social media expert, or even an intern. If you do a lot of Facebook content, for example, and you know how you source it out, how often you do it, and where you go to source it out, what format does it have to be in, you can then brief this assistant of yours to do it for you, right? Which means then you can then jump on the next bandwagon.
Exactly, exactly. And I think it's really good, and I love the questions coming through. And what we're going to do is we're just going to go back and answer a few of the questions. Mm-hmm. So please type them more now. And we've got two good ones from Sebastian. The first one being, how can I get more likes in Facebook, right? And before I give that one to Martha, I'll tell you what I personally do is I personally invite my friends to like my business pages. I make sure I post at least 3 times a week compelling content. And also there's paid advertising options. What's your take on that one, Martha?
Yep. If your likes is less than 100, so let's say you're starting out, it is always a good idea to invite your friends to start with, just to jump up the numbers very quickly to 100 before you start running the Facebook ad. That's my take on it. The Facebook ad is a very efficient, is a very effective way of ramping up your Facebook likes. But you can start with your friends, the people that you know. That is for sure. Yes.
Exactly, exactly. And that's a whole area of itself. But Facebook marketing is very, very important. Now, Sebastian's asked another question. It's quite a complex one. How can I create a Facebook app if I don't know coding? Hire someone? What do you think, Martha?
Yeah.
I can't do that.
Yeah, a Facebook app. Now, if you don't know what a Facebook app is, when you log into Facebook, you see different boxes. You see boxes where you see the photos, the number of likes. Those are the default ones. You can also create custom boxes. We call them Facebook app or Facebook tabs, right? You can create one of those. If you know how to code, then you can obviously code it in. But if you don't know how to code, let's say you're a business owner, you don't know how to code and you don't want to hire someone to code it for you, what you can do is you can use third-party plugins. Now, plugins basically just provider. So you buy a third-party plugin. Some of the third-party plugins allows you to use a certain number of Facebook tabs before you have to pay, or some of them gives you a 30 days trial, and you can create custom apps. So one of the uses of apps is to collect information, like say contact form, without them leaving Facebook, right? So that's good. So you don't get them to leave Facebook, you can still get to collect the information. Yes, so third-party plugins. The good ones are Tapsite, PageModo. I can probably just type it in later on, but they're third-party plugins. Way to go.
Wow, so there you go. And I hope that helps, Sebastian, and of course Martha's sticking around at the end. So yeah, I'll tell you what we'll do with the technical stuff. When we stop the recording at the end, Martha can sit there and type out the answers to everyone. Mm-hmm. So got that on the list. And a great one from I never pronounced the name properly, Supriya.
Supriya.
No, Supriya, isn't it? Anyway, Supriya. Anyway, that awesome woman who does yoga, who's online, Supriya, I hope we get it right. If not, I always mispronounce her name and she hates me. She asked a great question. How can we attract the target population to the Facebook page? Yes, Supriya forgives us. Thank you, Supriya. That's a good question, Martha. How do we get the right sort of people to like our Facebook page, Martha?
Yes, with the Facebook, obviously, when you start inviting your friends might not be your ideal clients, which is fine because we're just trying to get the numbers up. When we do Facebook advertising, for example, one of them, you do Facebook advertising, that's a paid advertising, you can do a very targeted ad. So you can say, only want to target, okay, this is based on your research, obviously. So you look at your, let's say, top 3 clients or top 30% of your clients. Let's say what the demographics are. And where they live, what do they do? Are they more likely to shop here or to buy that? So where they're hanging out, and based on this breakdowns, you will then target people with that criteria on your Facebook ads. That's if you're doing Facebook ads. If you're doing other types of marketing, it is the same thing. Yeah, I've seen a lot of Facebook a lot of Facebook marketers trying to just ramp up the likes. For example, by giving away something that is unrelated, got nothing to do with, for example, if I don't know, let's say I'm a personal trainer, like someone actually mistaken me as a personal trainer like years ago, so that's...
Well, Martha does look pretty fit, and she does work out, right, Martha?
No, that's not the point. The point is, let's say I was a personal trainer, and then I have my Facebook page, I'm trying to give away iPad. Obviously, out of a sudden, I get 3,000 likes, 5,000 likes, 10,000 likes, people wanting to do, want to win my iPad. But then at the end of the competition, people, someone wins an iPad and then they're not my target audience. So you get 10,000 likes with no engagement. So that's not the way to go. So to reach your target audience, you've got to know who you are targeting. That's number one. So you've got to know your target audience really well outside Facebook and other type of marketing before you do that.
Yeah, and a good way I recommend to small business owners, obviously big companies have a whole marketing department and they just pay tens of thousands for research. The best way I recommend it for small business owners, in the case of Supriya, I hope your name's right. Yeah, I can't pronounce names, I just stick to marketing. In the case of Supriya, who I think's got a wonderful name, and everyone on the line, is you want to think about your clients you already have, right? Okay, you want to think about the clients you already have. Mm-hmm. And that gives you a fair idea as to the people that you tend to work with and the people you tend to don't. Mm-hmm. And that can help you guide your target audience. So definitely a recommended way for small businesses. So feel free to get through your questions. Everyone's criticising my lack of ability to pronounce Indian names, and for that I'm sorry. But feel free to get your questions or your insults at my lack of understanding of the Indian language. Yeah. Sebastian's laughing at my error, which is very funny. There you go.
Okay. Look who's there on the screen.
Yeah.
When it comes to driving traffic, what you want to do on your landing page, when talking about landing page, could be your Facebook page, could be your website page, right? You need to have a compelling design. Obviously, we touch on that, being your brand, being your colors, the right layout and things like that. But also, which is easily forgotten, is the copywriting. Like, how important is copy on a website?
Absolutely. It's funny, I'm actually going through that process myself. I launched my own first online product last week, which is obviously a massive project and thing for me. And the thing that I found as part of that experience is, you got to remember, like, face-to-face is different. If you meet someone face-to-face, you can smile, you can shake their hand, you can give them a compliment. Websites are different. You got to think about a website has to do all its selling for you. So the wording is absolutely critical. So be it wording on the ad, or in this case, you can see the wording of my Facebook ad for the marketing vault. By the way, this Facebook ad got the highest converting. It got 0.04%, which is a lot for Facebook. So you want to make sure your wording is absolutely perfect. Now, a good question here from Sebastian. Is it common to run your business just via Facebook when you're starting? Absolutely. I would completely agree with that. What's your take on that, Martha?
Yeah. It depends on what it is that you are selling, obviously. We know a lot of people starting, selling, could be candles, could be cakes, could be any clothing, apparel, starting all on Facebook. The whole business is based on Facebook. Now, my take on it is Facebook owns everything. Right? Let's say to close down tomorrow, you've got nothing. That's my own take. So you can start with Facebook, but then slowly make sure that you build your own database.
Yeah. And in the case of Sebastian, Sebastian makes a good point. Sebastian's is a high-end photographer that does amazing work. Now, what I suggest you do is, by all means, and I have quite a few photography clients, is that Facebook is beautiful for photographers because you list your artwork there and do everything. But may I suggest as well, you may not at the start, but eventually you want to be listing it on your own website as well. Now, the probability of Facebook going down is probably unlikely.
Very
right?
unlikely.
Very unlikely. But at the same time, you know, if you're going to upload stuff on Facebook, you may not put it on your own website, but at least you have a copy. So let's say Facebook has a disaster, Facebook went down. You've got the artwork and you've got all the imagery yourself, so you can recreate it in your own image quite well. And now, George has asked a great question on Facebook versus LinkedIn. Did you want me to answer this one? Yep, LinkedIn's more my baby. So Facebook, Martha's got way better knowledge than me. LinkedIn is definitely my baby. Now, again, this is quite an important one. LinkedIn is a very good platform, and the way I sort of describe Facebook and LinkedIn is that there's some similarities and vast differences. Now, in the case of George Gilmore, George Gilmore is a risk assessor and high-end insurance broker. Now, in that case, LinkedIn would work way better for George. But George is also launching a book real soon, right? In that case, I think Facebook would work very well. So it's very contextual. So talking LinkedIn, which is obviously sort of my specialty, when it comes to LinkedIn, think of LinkedIn as a business networking group, okay? So LinkedIn is like a business networking group. So let's say you go to a business networking group, you meet 30 people. You might have clicked with only one of them and 29 people you don't know that well. Adding someone to Facebook personally you've just met may not be socially acceptable, whereas LinkedIn is completely socially acceptable. And the good thing about LinkedIn, which is very, very, very powerful, is that LinkedIn's great for connecting to people professionally, showing your expertise, and also LinkedIn paid advertising is outstanding for targeting people based on profession or their job they do for a living. So Facebook's great for targeting a demographic or an interest, like 25-year-old girls who, I don't know, like horses or shit like that. I don't know, do 25-year-old girls like horses and shit like that?
What are you trying to sell?
Yeah, exactly. Obviously, I understand women well. I should. 80% of my clients are women. But LinkedIn, being smartest, LinkedIn is about targeting, let's say, HR managers and certain people. And also LinkedIn has very, very powerful groups as well we talk about it. So, yeah. Any commentary on that one, Martha?
Yeah, totally on that. Facebook versus LinkedIn, it's like, it depends on what you're trying to do. Some platforms are best suited for a certain type of businesses, some platforms are best suited for the others. So there's no right or wrong, just got to find which one is best suited for your business and services.
Excellent. We got a question from Jay as well. A very good point. Facebook sounds good to sell products. Any tips on attracting and selling services like mine? Now, just so you know, Jay and Sean own a security and technology company, and they're asking about using Facebook to promote that. What's your interpretation on that one, Martha?
Yeah, on that one there, Facebook is always a good way to connecting with, potential leads, potential clients, potential customers. But one thing that you really have to know, you really have to be aware of is you want to attract your target audience. You just don't want to target anyone. One of the misconceptions is people only look for aim for the likes, but not necessarily the engagements. So you might have, a number of likes, no engagements, no point. Like I said about the issue with the challenge with giving away iPad as a personal trainer, because same thing there.
Yep. And I think a good example is the whole person like. My Facebook page has about 1,800 likes these days. Martha will have me killed the way she's going in about 3 months. Probably about 3 weeks the way Martha is going. And to me, my Facebook page has a lot of likes. Now, I know someone who ran a, in inverted commas, very successful competition, and they got their likes to the thousands. The whole problem is that the people liking their page weren't their target market. So at the end of the day, you could have freaking 10,000 likes to your Facebook page, but if they're not people that are interested in your products or services, it is completely meaningless. And if anything, it can be bad, because if you're marketing to people that don't want to hear from you, they'll start resenting you, won't they? Yeah,
it actually could become a very, very bad, it will backfire, because what happens is people forget that they've liked your page because, it's the iPad they're interested in. It's not the service. It's not your services or products. So when your post comes up in their news feed, the things that people see when they log into the Facebook account, they might not like it. So they can't. Some people know how to turn that off, and you can actually hide it, or you can mark it as spam or report it. And when you get enough of it, Facebook actually, penalize you for doing that.
Yeah. So please be careful on that one. It's great to have them relevant. And just reinforcing what Martha's saying, in the case of Jay, images. I mean, Jay runs a security company. It can be the latest technology. It can be guards beating up people. No, please don't put them up. We'll get you sued. Or it could be good photos about you hanging out with the guards and doing a great top job. So, yeah, very good.
Very good.
Get more questions through. This is fantastic. And Martha's going to continue the fine work.
Okay. Now, when it comes to interacting with your audience, with the leads that come through from driving your traffic, there are a number of things you can do. You can do online marketing. You can do, when it comes to online marketing, I mean, email marketing is one of them. It's probably one of the biggest one that you can do. Recently, a lot of people are doing video marketing. You see the crazy person there on the YouTube screenshot, conquering the top 10 marketing mistakes with Edward Zia there. So video marketing is very, very powerful because people get to see you, people get to experience you even before they meet with you. So that's video marketing. You can also interact with people using social media nowadays, obviously, using scheduled updates. Now, this is where it gets very, very huge in that you can schedule updates as long as you like. So let's say you do it this weekend for the next 7 weeks, sorry, not 7 weeks, for the next 7 days, and then it will just schedule itself out automatically even while you're asleep. So leveraging your time in a way.
Yeah. And just weighing in on what Martha's saying there, with YouTube and video, look, my video on the Marketing Vault cost me a lot of money, right? But for video, you can do stuff with an iPad or an iPhone that's absolutely amazing. In fact, they have actual, Sebastian was telling me this. Sebastian was telling me, he's a great photographer online. Sebastian was saying is that they actually have photo competitions where your only technology allowed is an iPhone, right? So please don't look at YouTube and go, oh shit, I've got thousands of dollars. Not true. Some of the highest views on LinkedIn, a lot of the highest views of videos on YouTube are done through iPhones or iPads, aren't they?
Yeah, that is correct.
So please don't forget that. And now Sebastian's asked a good question, which is probably more aimed at me. Pleasure, Sebastian. If basically Sebastian's asking you, if you don't know someone that well, if you don't know someone at all and you connect to them on LinkedIn, is a good idea? No. So I'll be upfront with you. With LinkedIn, the problem with LinkedIn is that a lot of people are adding people where they don't know you, and that's actually against the LinkedIn terms and conditions. So on LinkedIn, it's called an IDK. It means that I don't know you. Now, what happens to me, if you're connecting to people that don't know you, there's two issues going on. One is that if you keep connecting to people you don't know, they can lodge complaints. If you get more than 5 IDKs from memory, LinkedIn can disable your account. So please only connect to people you have met in the real world or you got some kind of link, okay? So please, please, please don't go there.
Yeah.
So very good. Now George has asked, George Gilmore, our great risk assessor friend on the line, has asked 2 questions. What about paying for ads and buying email lists? Actually, George, on that one, can you give us a bit more information? What context do you mean that in when it comes about buying ads or email lists? So give us some more information there, George, so I can give you exactly the right answer. And now, Supriya, I hope I got a name right or she'll kill me, right? What is the most appropriate, trying to understand the question here. Oh, cool. Supriya is asking a very good question, basically saying, if you're, let's say, in a niche or your company is very, very specialized, what's the most appropriate platform to do it? Now, it depends. If you're targeting, let's say, a very specific industry or function in a company, LinkedIn can be very good. But in terms of Facebook, Facebook can be amazing targeting based on interest when you set up an ad because you can specify an interest. Or let's say you're targeting a demographic, okay? So what do you think on that one, Martha?
Yeah, if you're looking at advertising on Facebook, paying for the traffic, especially on Facebook, I would suggest you check out the Power Editor. Now, the Power Editor comes with Facebook, so when you log in and you create your own ad, you can use the Power Editor. It allows you to really target it based on a number of criteria, not just the age, not just the demographics, but all other things as well, including their interest, including, like in America, actually, and not in Australia yet, I don't know why, we're always catching up, but in America, you have database of people. Let's say I want to target only people who are interested in buying Mercedes-Benz in the next 6 months, and I can target those people. Now, I don't know where they get a database from. It's a bit scary, but, you've been browsing around looking for something, and then suddenly, let's say, Have you noticed in your personal page, for example, that you see that little emoticons? I'm feeling, what is it? Feeling sad.
I'm feeling sad, depressed. I feel like voting Liberal.
Yeah. Well,
I feel like supporting a
there.
Conservative government.
Don't go
Okay, yeah. All right.
Yeah. So why do you think they put it in there? They didn't put it there just for fun. It's emotions, which is a very, very, very important buying power. So the more information Facebook has about you, let's say you've been, like feeling a little down lately and you're feeling sad and you keep posting all this, I'm feeling sad, I'm feeling sad. Suddenly you see ads that it makes you do not want to feel sad. I don't know what it is, but that's how it is. That's how it works. A bit scary, but that's how it is.
So, for example, voting Liberal in an election will make you happy, right, Martha?
Oh, gosh, no comment on that. Yep. So that's how it is. So yeah. So make sure that you have a very, very targeted ads. Right.
Excellent. That's a very good question. And George Gilmore, now people can probably hear you eat. I'm actually eating a piece of chocolate right now. I picked a bad time to do it, but George has asked me a question, so I shall answer. George is asking for how much for Facebook compared to, say, buying a list or target. Now, it really depends. List buying is a different sort of job. In the case of list buying, you can buy a list of anyone from a niche or an industry. And really when you think about it, if you're going to buy a list of actual people to ring people up or email them to target them, you really got to know, it's more of, not so much an online marketing, it's more of a marketing strategy question. Who are your clients? Who are you targeting them and why are you doing it? So my big question first is, who are your clients? Who are your ideal targets? So they'll determine how you target them and whether it should be buying a list and calling them the real world, networking, Facebook or LinkedIn, that sort of thing. No, we're almost out of chocolate. So what's your take on that one, Martha?
Yeah. I'm not big on buying a list, but if you do want to buy a list, there's a company called Impact
List. Impact List. I'm putting it in now.
Yeah, Impact List is probably one of the good ones. The database is very high quality. It's actually getting updated very recently, so you don't get the dodgy ones, and you can specify. They don't cost. They're not cheap, but they're very, very high targeted. So let's say you only want to target certain industry, only people of, let's say the CEO level or whatever it is.
Yeah, they're very good. Very good. We're hanging to our pleasure, George. We're hanging to chocolate right now. And here's the next one, Martha.
Okay, now the last step is to convert. So once you've driven traffic to it, so that's your lead generation. You do engage with them. That's your lead nurturing, right? So, and then the third one is your lead conversion. Now this is where you convert people into paying clients. This is where the big money is. Now to do this, it is not going to be an overnight process. Only 5% of people who come into your, who comes through your sales funnel, remember that funnel thing, only 5% are ready to buy. People in a different stage of buying cycle. They might already been researching for months and they're ready to buy right there when you come into their picture. They might just start their own research process, and you've got to go through all this process with them until they're happy and they're comfortable buying it from you. So you need a good CRM, and CRM is a customer relationship management. A good CRM, whatever it is, it doesn't really matter what platform you use, like what tools you use. You've got to find one that is suitable for your purpose. But that helps you in taking them from generating the leads through to the lead conversion. That's number one. Number two is, from the website point of view, make sure that you install Google Analytics. So if your website does not have some sort of like statistics behind it, make sure they install Google Analytics. Now, Google Analytics itself is free. It's from Google. You just need to get your web designer, your web developer to implement that for you, and you can implement to any website. Right? The idea of an analytics is that you can get to see to a very, very deep level of statistics. So how many people went, what platform they're accessing your website from, how long they stay, which page they enter in, which page they exit from, and how long they stay in there, and then what they clicked, and all sorts of things. Very, very powerful to then decide whether or not your Facebook promotions or any type of the lead generation that you're doing actually is paying off, right? So that's the Google Analytics. Any
Very good. So it's good getting, again, we don't want to spend too much time on it technically because we do have to wrap up soon, but Google Analytics is about knowing the data that comes to your website and all that. And a very good question, this is a very, very big marketing question as we wind this up. Supriya has asked, I love Supriya's questions, I'm pronouncing her name correctly, is how do I make my website popular? And my answer is making it, I'll answer it this way. Is it your goal to make your business popular or your website popular? Now, the reason why I say that is a lot of people I found, I've seen this happen, people will meet clients face-to-face, will have a chance to sell them their services, and they'll direct people to their website. Now, remember, please don't put the cart before the horse. It's about making your business popular. But I know where Supriya is coming from, this being, I'll explain that point. In knowing Supriya personally, where she's coming from is, how do I get lots of traffic to my website so I get enough leads coming in? Which I understand that would be a question. That's a composite of everything. So, you know, Supriya does yoga. So, for example, it could be her Facebook page getting in business that way. It could be flyers across town getting in stuff that way. It could be a few listings and directories getting traffic that way. Supriya might start a Facebook campaign of $5 a day to bring traffic in. So to me, it's more of a composite of all the different sort of strategies out there.
Yeah, and that is why you have to keep tracking and keep tweaking. If you don't know which one works, you don't know which one to then remove. Let's say you put in an ad in a local newspaper, right? Or you run a Facebook campaign. If both of those running at the same time, you're not tracking, you don't know which traffic is driving, which traffic is actually driving, which method, which strategy is actually driving the traffic back to your website. So you don't know.
Exactly.
Right. So it's all about having a very strong, compelling brand message, number one. So through, get a good graphical web designer to build a site for you. Don't know what they're doing. Make sure that, that your website is mobile friendly. Make sure that it's called responsive. If you've heard of the keyword before, make sure that it's mobile friendly. And make sure the number two is you have a solid strategy. So from the lead generation, going through the sales funnel, lead generation, what are strategies you're using to generate leads? Could be Facebook, could be networking, could be referrals, could be whatever it is, PR, etc., etc. They're on the previous slides. Solid strategies from there to then nurturing, through email marketing, through video marketing, could be social media schedule post. Then keep tracking and keep tweaking. If it's working, like Ed is saying, if it's working, keep doing it, right? Just keep doing it. If it's not working, quickly change your strategy.
Yeah. And just an example of putting my money where my mouth is last week my first online product launch, and I spent about 15 grand on this project, so I'm taking it rather seriously and want to make it a real hero product. And right now, it's been about a week's past. Every day has been tracking, tweaking, analytics. So especially if you're doing e-commerce where you sell products online without any intervention from yourself, everything's really critical. So be it, let's say you're Sebastian who's putting photos up there to get leads, or let's say Supriya doing yoga, or Jay doing security, or let's say me, trying to sell, digital products, right? It's always lots of tracking and tweaking. And so what this does, folks, this brings us to the end of our webinar. Now we're going to wrap it up. So get your questions through. We've actually gone really well today. It's been one of our longest webinars ever, and you guys are still online, which is great. And get your final questions through. And some of the big things I sort of want to point out there is, I love this pic.
Yummy.
So reflect with a cup of coffee. Have a think about things. Plot your next move, and get back and swing hard. Hit back in total style. And get a great idea from tonight and take massive action. Now, here's a big thank you from Martha and Edward. This is a photo. It's like we rang each other up that day. We happen to dress the same way. It's a very funny photo. And now, what I want to ask you, George said the guy topless was good looking, but he says I'm not so good looking. So you're breaking my heart, George. We love George. So, here are our email addresses. You're welcome to contact us anytime. If you're interested in sort of marketing, mentoring, help, or the strategy, I'm the man for that. If you're interested in sort of the Facebook and online stuff, Martha's definitely the woman for that. So I just want to say a massive thank you for joining us tonight. We're going to stop the recording right now. George made a phone call. No, it was a girlie in between, not you, he said. Okay, there you go. Thank you, George, for protecting my fragile ego. But we're going to stop the recording now. we're just going to hang out a bit longer, and our next webinar includes the amazing Daniel Doherty, who's going to be talking about email marketing and content creation, which is a whole other area of science itself. So thank you, everyone. Goodbye from me, and a goodbye from Martha.
Okay. Goodbye, everyone.
Have a great night, everyone, and I hope you enjoy the recording. Talk to you all later.